Shannon Sharpe is here, continuously calling out the woke women at ESPN. He's looking for a response. And I told you guys, I'm waiting on them to come out and to admit that Caitlin Clark was the best then and now. However, we know that they don't want to do that. They do not want to show face. They refuse to acknowledge that Shannon Sharpe was right, that most of us were right. Let's get into this video, guys, as we are going to take a deep dive into where Monica McNutt is and why Shannon Sharpe is calling her out. There has been evidence in articles released saying that Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe run ESPN, and most of the people over there, being women, really do not like it. So any chance that they get to properly dispute against one another is taken a little bit personal. Let's just be honest. And Monica McNutt comes out and say that she is going to base her Rookie of the Year off of playoff standing. Well, guys, it seems like Shannon Sharpe and the rest of us are waiting to hear a response, as it looks like apparently the Indiana Fever are significantly better than the Chicago Sky. Let's take a deep dive into this report. NFL legend Shannon Sharpe has been an outspoken advocate for Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark. He went viral for a fiery rant he had praising Clark last month on an episode of Nightcap podcast that he does with Ocho Cinco, where he recently called the attention to the volume of flagrant fouls Clark has been subject to this season. Now, guys, like myself, Shannon Sharpe has been rooting for Caitlin Clark as Stephen A. Smith. And if you notice something, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe go out of their way on their podcast to say stuff like, "I don't look so stupid now, do I? Where's everybody else, who had all these opinions about Caitlin Clark, who said that she wouldn't be this good?" They go out of their way because it's personal. And I also made a video telling you guys why I believe that most of these black men support Caitlin Clark. It's because of the feuding that's going on with these women. These men, Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, they have a little bit extra something to prove with this Caitlin Clark situation, because to me, it's deeper than sports. It's about the respect of proper debating and the respect of having your own opinion and being able to debate properly without any emotions being involved. And they got away with some of the worst disrespect ever when it came to Caitlin Clark, when it comes to Caitlin Clark. So now that Caitlin Clark literally has beaten the odds, got snubbed from the Olympic roster, had the most tough, difficult schedule beginning of the season. She's risen above all that to put the worst team into the playoff standings. She's playing out of her mind. They're calling her the Great White Hope. She is an absolute joy to watch. I mean, it's like crazy how good she is, the look of it. And I understand that there are other WNBA players that probably have a better skill set. It just doesn't look like Caitlin Clark. Many other media personalities, Monica McNutt, you see that, have not been so supportive of Clark this year. And Sharpe appeared to call them out for it September 2nd. And that is currently. And this is what he had to say. There's a lot of women that was on ESPN that had a lot to say earlier about it. They've gone quiet now. And I keep asking this in my videos, where are you guys? You literally have to work with Shannon Sharpe. You know he's indirectly talking about you. I think he's directly talking about you. I mean, obviously everybody knows this. We can see this. Y'all quiet now. I want somebody to send that to you, because you know who I'm talking about. I ain't gonna call your name, but you know who you are. You had a lot to say early. If you think I'm talking to you, I am. Make no mistake about it, I'm talking to you. You know who you are. One of you was a former coach. Now, guys, maybe I should do my due diligence and go see who this is and who he's talking about. I'm sure it's not hard to find this out. But man, Shannon Sharpe has a point, because I think that it's fair. Just like there will be so many clips of, if this was Stephen A. Smith being wrong or Shannon Sharpe being wrong, there will be so many before and after clips of him looking stupid and taking the most insane, absurd takes. Especially if it was something in this nature where everybody pretty much knows that Caitlin Clark has been and still is the Rookie of the Year. I crowned her that while she was in college. Seriously, like, the girl is sensational. I've never seen anything like this. I've also never paid attention to the WNBA. If you ask me, I think Arike Ogunbowale is very, very special. Personality, her style of play, It just didn't happen for some of these WNBA players the way that it's all packaged together for Caitlin Clark. She simply became America's sweetheart. I do not blame Shannon Sharpe for calling these people out because the whole world is thinking what he's saying. Where the beep are these people? Where are you? You guys have gone radio silent. Nobody is hearing from these big bad she-wolves, woke. Let me calm down. Nobody is hearing from these women. Are you guys embarrassed to admit that you were completely wrong? Are you guys afraid that we're going to say something? You're already getting backlash. You might as well come out and face the fire. It's only a matter of time before you have to sit there and talk again amongst one another about Caitlin Clark in the Rookie of the Year situation. And I saw something recently with Monica McNutt. It looked like it killed her to talk about Caitlin Clark in such glowing light. It seems like in this article, they referenced the coach, Carolyn Peck, who is an ESPN analyst and a former college basketball coach who also coached the WNBA's Orlando Miracle from 1999 to 2001. Apparently she was good if they just gave her looked like a year or something like that, or 2 years, a year and a half. Peck went viral for this.
If you had to log your vote today, who would your Rookie of the Year be in the WNBA? I mean, it is a thin line. It's really tight. But when
Give me a break.
Look at where the teams are, and I also went a little deeper and I looked at plus minus, and I also looked at net rating. And when you look at that, Angel Reese has to get the nod.
This is an absurd take, but this is also look at what we're dealing with here. Do you honestly think that the sister and the biracial sister, whatever she is going to really be in favor of Caitlin Clark, man? They have this secret sworn, I don't know, relationship with these players where it's like they refuse to critique them. And that there is why I just like to hear straightforward commentating amongst men, because women get too petty. I'm sorry, I know every woman isn't like this, but I think it's safe to say that most women, they are too petty for their own good, and it prohibits them from keeping it real. It's simply like, come on. Even then, seriously, even when the Fever were not gelling or playing the way that they were, we saw something in Caitlin Clark that was just drastically different from Angel Reese. Now these folks are being summoned by their own people. Where are you guys? We want to hear you guys come out. We want to hear your take now. Says she has to get the nod. How are you nodding now? We'd love to hear from you. How are you nodding now? And I can tell that it's a war amongst not just the fans of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. It's literally a war between the analysts at ESPN. It's gotten that deep. They're taking it there personal. We want to talk legit stats and legit basketball. That's all we want to do. That's it. But they're taking it to the next level. So okay, now that you guys are taking it to the next level, let's hear. What do you guys have to say? How are you guys feeling now? That Caitlin Clark is up in your arse. That Caitlin Clark is sensational. That she's taking over the game. Where are you guys? Shannon Sharpe apparently is spazzing where he says, I'll get a little more specific. Some of you played the game. Obviously, it says that he's referring to Monica McNutt, who is another ESPN analyst who played college basketball at Georgetown University. We already know her reckless take that she took. And, I'm not the biggest Shannon Sharpe fan. It's some of the things that, I know about him and some of the things that he does that I just kind of rub me the wrong way. But I completely support him in this. And this is what Monica McNutt said. If you guys don't remember, my Rookie of the Year is going to be based on the standings, McNutt said, because that is how I think you have the opportunity to measure impact. And the Sky right now are in the playoffs, so you'd have to give the nod, in my mind, to Angel Reese. Okay. Well, we're still waiting because Angel Reese got completely defaced, embarrassed in front of her home crowd by Caitlin Clark, who put up an outstanding 31, and Angel Reese had an outstanding 7 points until trash time when they were in a 25 deficit blowout. And that padded just to get to 10. So if you guys are nodding, you are asleep. I hope so. You guys are asleep. That's the only way you're nodding, because it doesn't make sense to me at all. So shout out to Shannon Sharpe, man, for coming through and straight up putting these people in the forefront. And guys, honestly, looking back at these takes, if I'm these analysts, I'm slightly embarrassed. And I'm also kind of angry that I thought Angel Reese was anywhere near the level of Caitlin Clark. But they're not going to come out and talk about this because a lot of people have accountability problems, especially strong-minded women. They're not going to be accountable. You know, me, if I'm wrong, I'm going to say, hey, I was wrong. I ain't got no problem with that. I mean, it's not the end of the world to say that I was wrong. But for some people, it is very tough, man. It's very tough for these people to just, you know, come out and say, you know, what they... It's very tough for them to come out and just admit the truth. And you see here where the Fever are 17-16 and the Chicago Sky have lost 6 consecutive games and they are 11-21. And let me tell you how I knew this season was going to end up like this, because Caitlin Clark cared more about uplifting the team. Literally, they're going crazy over a freaking double-double, and Caitlin Clark takes her time. She can get to the basket, score whenever she wants. She was about team uplift. Angel Reese was about me. And the team fed into that. They were even finessed and just flabbergasted and blown away by the double-double. So they poured more into that. And what did they do in return? The team chemistry is off. Kennedy Carter, amongst other players, really want out because they want to play legit basketball. Angel Reese is a person who's all about herself. And now look at this. This is what you guys were given a nod to. And this is where you guys are remaining. And this is where you guys have to stay, unfortunately. Unless you guys come out and do, you know, what Skip Bayless did and just admit that he was wrong about Caitlin Clark, then we'll all will be forgiven. But we want to see it first. So that's my mindset. I love to hear your thoughts on this. Kudos to Shannon out these angry, bitter women over there at the woke ESPN, man. You did nothing wrong. Shout out, and we appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Thumbs up, like the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah.